Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Welcome to another video. Today we are doing oh, hold up. Don't mind the stuffness. It's just part of the experience. Today we're doing a birthday special, and you're like, Aiden, didn't you already do a birthday special a couple weeks ago? The Higurashi tier list, which you should check if you haven't checked it out. And you know Higurashi. I guess there's no point of checking it out if you don't. Yeah, that was a channel birthday special. This is just a birthday special because it's actually my birthday. The day this is posted, at least. I am 24 years old. Uh, don't know if I look it. People usually think I'm a bit younger than that, but yeah, I'm old. Kind of. Relatively, maybe. I don't know. I have boomer reflexes and video game stills and like semi-zoomer humor. So I don't know. I guess I'm still in the middle, eh? But I wanted to do something for the birthday and I didn't really know what to do. So I'm like, okay, just do something related to me. And I'm like, um, I don't know. Let's do top 10 anime list. My top 10, you know. It's now I'm putting it out there for you to judge me. Um, obviously, I would recommend everything on this list. Hopefully you would at least not hate it. Um, the awkward thing about this, though, if you know me, I was actually on a really long anime hiatus because I really loved anime like through high school and a bit after that. But like from 20 like from like the start of 2016 until 2021, I think I almost watched like the zero anime. You could probably count it on one hand. So, um, a lot of these I haven't seen in so long, so maybe my opinion would change of them nowadays. And honestly I don't like remember everything, so it's awkward. But I'm pretty sure they're good. um, Also, that being said, a lot of these are not are kind of old. At least they're not like past 2016. So I don't have anything like kind of recent on here. That shouldn't matter though. Maybe you'll like them, maybe you're not. But yeah, let's get into this. Um, this top 10 list. Um, but yeah, if you're new here, consider checking out the channel. A lot of anime related stuff and variety stuff. And you know, if you've seen any of these, let me know your thoughts, or you know, talk about your own. Tell me your favorite anime, so I can also judge you while you judge me. Equality. um, but yeah, let's go. Let's go. So, number 10, I got Princess Tutu. Now this one's interesting because out of everything on this list, and it's why it's on number 10, I do not. I remember this the least. But like for this video, I went on my old My Anime List account, and this was a 10 out of 10. And a lot, and like a majority of this stuff on the list is not a 10 out of 10, but I still think it's probably like some of the best things I've seen. So that, I don't know, I kind of just had to put it on. I remember the basic plot. Also, well, spoilers, probably light spoilers, won't go too hard into the spoilers, but yeah, just warn yourself. Um, Basically, Princess Tutu from memory is a story about a duck who lives near a ballet school, who falls in love with a guy and then becomes a human. But then I think there's some evil forces, so she also gets the power to turn into a magical girl, sort of dancer lady. So it's like a transformation into a transformation story. It's kind of, you know, a fantastical thing, fantastical style of story. Pretty sure based on a fairy tale. What is that fairy tale? The one where, was it a goose? Or maybe it is also a duck that transforms. That's a thing, I think. You know, a little bit slice of life, a lot of romance. Sounds childish, kind of, just from the summary I'm giving, but I think it was very good. I remember standing this hard in high school, man. It's like when my friend groups talk about anime, I'm like, yo, you gotta peep Princess Tutu, man. It's so good. Um, but yeah, this one's just awkward kind of to talk about since I don't fully remember how good it is. But it's probably good. Yeah, I mean it's old. It's like early 2000s, I think. So it might look outdated, but if you want to give that a shot, if that sounds good to you, then I would recommend it. It's probably like pretty good. It might even deserve a higher place on this list, but at least for everything else, I have a better memory of. So so for now, it's at 10, even though it might be like top of the list worthy, maybe. Maybe old high school. My high school me would have put it higher. Anyways, number 9, we got Hajime no Ippo. Probably know what this is. I would say one of the most famous anime of all time. Boxing anime. It's really good. I love sports themed stories, manga and anime. And I think Hajime no Ippo might have been the first one I've watched. It was either that or Kuroko no Basket. But Hajime no Ippo is definitely the first non-team sports anime, because I don't know if like people would put them in a different genre, but team sports animes have like a very standard format most of the time on how it goes. Not to diss them, there's a lot of great ones, and in fact there's a team sports anime on this list. But it was my first time seeing like a different format for sports stuff, and like really getting into sort of the martial arts genre that's not like fantastical, like not something crazy like Dragon Ball, like a more realistic take on the martial arts genre, which I also love now. I love the Tengen Run, the manga Tengen Run, Karate Minoro. There's a lot of good ones, and I'm pretty sure I got into it starting with Ippo. So it's a really nice lot of nostalgia for me, because it introduced me to a lot of good things. But yeah, it's a solid anime. I mean, it's a great anime. Why am I saying solid? It's very long. It has Hawk versus Takamura. One of the I feel like people would say one of the greatest anime fights of all time. I would also say that. I would say it's, in my mind, top 3 sports, I guess, moments in a sports anime of all time. And probably at least top 5 anime fights of all time. It's great, and you know, people always reference that, but like there's other great ones. I think I really loved Sendo versus Ippo, the final match. Ippo versus, I'm trying to remember all the names. The final Ippo fight for the last part of the animated series. Lots of good stuff. Lots of good fights. Very realistic. The humor is nice. It handles romance decently. Sports animes tend to like include a little bit of romance, but don't really develop it at all. I feel like Ippo definitely does that. It's a long read. Though we are talking about anime, by the way, so even if I go off track, I'm mainly focusing on the anime adaptation of the series. I have read Ippo. I mean, it's still going. It's past 1,000 chapters, so it's kind of insane. I think the anime goes up to like what, 300, 400. So I mean, if they ever want to animate a couple of seasons, they have a lot of material. But no, I mean, I love Ippo. It's a classic. It's, I guess, cons of if you're checking it out, it is old. At the beginning, the animation definitely gets a glow up once you're past the original one, and even in the original run in the later episodes, it looks good. I will say, rewatching it, the first part is a little slow. Then like later on it's slow too, but it's fine because when he's in his pro career. But just like the very beginning felt slow to me on rewatch. But that is on rewatch. I think it might be a much better experience for your first time. So just slight criticisms. Aiden, what's your favorite character? Ippo. It's just Ippo. If it non-Ippo character, I really like Vald. Is that his name? I forgot. I think Vald, the Russian guy. I always liked Vald. And yeah, favorite fight, obviously, Takamura versus Hawk. Can't really say another fight. I low-key like the Dante versus Ricardo fight a lot, too. That's my low-key fight. And yeah, just great series. Would definitely recommend to anyone. Yeah. Okay, moving on. We're trying to make this kind of quick because it's a lot. Next we have Ergo Proxy. Oh boy. So if you follow the channel and you watch my reaction stuff, I have come to a realization that I didn't really know myself. I really like sci-fi anime stories in a dystopian world. I traditionally don't really like sci-fi. I don't really have any sci-fi movies. I never got into Star Wars or Star Trek or Battlestar Galactica. So I kind of always passively avoided sci-fi. But then we watched the Blame movie, which you can watch on the channel, full movie reaction. And then I'm like, yo, this is really good. And then it just popped. Like, there's really good anime sci-fi stuff that is, and it's always like dystopian worlds that they don't really explain, and you kind of learn through like dialogue and very vague, low-key world building. I'm like, I don't know if that's I feel like there's so many stories based around that. It might as well be its own subgenre, and I love that. And I think Ergo Proxy is probably my favorite of that. It's another old, I think it came out in 2006, but despite that, it's really beautiful. It's also an original anime project, so no manga, which is cool. It's always nice to see original projects, because they're usually made a bit different than stuff based on manga, since they follow panels. So there's you can tell like there's a little more directorial work. Like I said, it's more post-apocalyptic than dystopian. It's basically about two main characters, a refugee and a detective who's the daughter of the head religious figure, who's also modeled after the singer of what are they called? Everseen? The bring me back to life person, which is hilarious, but love the look. I used to love the look so much. I remember for a short period of time I named my characters after her, which means I used to do that a lot. And her name's RL or Real or Lil. There's like a lot of variations. But yeah, she was a super dope character. Probably one of my favorite female protagonists. And it's just a really cool show. It does not explain the world a lot, and maybe it doesn't do the best job at it, but I remember after I watched somebody react to it, and in every episode some guy with a burned castle profile picture, so you know he's a cool guy, like literally like wrote a paragraph explaining what was happening and the new lore that dropped that you didn't catch directly just from like background stuff. And then I was like, oh shit, I know everything now, and this series is sick. It's a very fun series. I know it's kind of dumb, but like it's kind of like Dark Souls, where you look at the world, you can assume stuff, but you like learn it from like deep lore through items and shit. That's kind of what Ergo Proxy is. Yeah. Wait, I think I like stopped halfway of explaining the summary. What's Ergo Proxy? Refugee and detective are investigating this strange creature lurking in their city, and it kind of leads them to exploring the world. And that's probably the best part. I think the best part of Ergo Proxy is when they explore the outside world, where kind of it's just like the best part of it. I think it's better than like the start and the end. I'm not gonna lie, maybe one negative. Even with the based Burncastle commenter, I still don't really understand what happens at the end. But I think the journey it took was probably like worth it. It's really fun. It's really beautiful. Love the setting, love the characters. Pretty sure the action scenes are really good too. So yeah, would rate Ergo Proxy high. Would recommend it. If you're the type of person though that wants a really clear story, that where they properly define stuff, then maybe it's not for you. But I still think it's great. Anyways, next anime. We're on rank number 7, rank 7. Top 7, whatever. 7. We have a sports anime. We have our team sports anime. What is my favorite team sports anime? It's Diamond No Ace. So the team sports anime genre is like very competitive. I feel like in my mind, at least popularity wise, the top 3 are probably Diamond No Ace, Kuroko, and Haikyuu. So I think Diamond No Ace is like much more low-key than those two series. Maybe it's not even in the top 3. I just don't know. At least in anime. Because a lot of like really popular sports manga have not been team sports manga have not been animated yet. But I love Diamond No Ace. I recently revisited it, and it still holds up to me. So it's about high school baseball, and it does follow some tropes of the team sports genre, but I think they do it differently, which is cool. So a lot of team sports genres like to do the underdog story, which is fine. I'm just comparing it to Haikyuu because it's really easy for me to do, and Haikyuu is great. And if that's part of your top 10 anime of all time, then I would respect it. But Haikyuu, I'm just basing it off Haikyuu because I feel like Haikyuu's the sports anime most people kind of just put as the gold standard for sports anime. But Haikyuu's an underdog story where, fallen powerhouse and the first years bring life to the team. Diamond No Ace is the reverse of that. Like, you still have the talented first year, very fun person to follow, kind of like Hinata, but they're not underdogs. They join. It's like joining like I can't. I don't actually remember Haikyuu stuff as much as I want to. But it's basically he joins one of the best schools in Tokyo. He gets scouted, and instead of this underdog story about the team struggling and lighting a new fire under them, they're already doing good. So it's more like him trying to get a proper spot on the team. And it's like the opposite journey of instead of him being in the spotlight, he's definitely not in the spotlight. And it's his struggle to get up to that level. So it's interesting in that regard. I also love the way the time progression of the story, because a lot of team sports animes, like, their timeline is for 1 year. Haikyuu does it, Kuroko does it, which is fine, but I think but Diamond No Ace actually does it for Sawamura's, which is the main character's, full high school career. I think technically they didn't go into the last year yet, but I bet they're going to do that. And you're like, Aiden, why does that matter? What does that change? It changes the stakes a lot, because team-based sports, manga, shows, whatever, they love doing the middle of the story, important game, they lose, everyone's sad, it's the third year's last chance in the later half, and they win or they do good. Diamond No Ace is like, hey, they basically, like, I mean, I'm not saying they win like the entire tournament, but they get farther enough where people can celebrate and stuff. Diamond O Ace like doesn't have that limitation. They can lose and the story won't end because there's a future already planned, which makes it a lot less unpredictable, in my opinion. If that made sense. I don't know if I'm making sense. If I need to clarify anything in the video, just let me know. But yeah, I think very few manga has this sort of timing thing. Like the only other one I can think of is Major, which is another baseball manga, which like goes through the character's life, like from like junior high to high school and stuff, like his baseball career through life. And I kind of like that. I think it adds more stakes. With a bigger scope, you can do more unpredictable losses and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, like it does follow a lot of the tropes, like a really large cast of characters where they can't fully develop everyone, but they have standout personalities where you remember them. Very intense games. One criticism probably of Diamond Oasis is it does get very slow. It's much faster in the manga because manga stuff is generally faster, but in the anime it can be slow. That being said, though, Sato versus Inashiro, first game, one of the best sports moments in sports anime history. I would say the best. I would say it's above Takamura Hot. Maybe that might be a hot take, but I love the Inashiro vs Sato game. It is so good from start to finish. Mei is such a great rival. Like the Chad rival that series have. I guess you would like compare him to Ushiwaka from Haikyuu. But I think Mei is just way better. Like, Mei is such a cool character. And the thing about Diamond O is because of this long period of time, you actually face teams a lot more. In a lot of sports animes, you face them once, maybe twice. In Diamond O you face like a couple teams like multiple times just because you're literally doing a couple years, right? So you get to learn the rivals better. Or at least like I would say you do learn about rivals in other sports animes, but you learn like a larger pool of rivals in Diamond O. Anyways, I'm probably taking too much time on Diamond O, so I would just say it's good. Watch it. It's very long and kind of slow, but it's probably worth it if you're into sports anime. Number 6 is we got Great Teacher Onizuka. Probably know what this is. Another classic. Probably my favorite comedic show. It is hilarious. It's basically about this biker gang leader, delinquent, becoming a substitute teacher in the hopes of getting girls and stuff. He's kind of like basically a fun scumbag taking a teacher spot. And it's kind of like the typical story of unorthodox teacher joins the classroom. Oh, the students don't know how to react and they're hesitant to learn from him. But it turns out that he's just teaching them life lessons in his own way. It's done a lot, though. Again, GTO is pretty old, so like it might be one of the OGs in doing it. But no, it's hilarious. You can't. I mean, you gotta love Onizuka, probably one of the best male anime characters, I would say. It's charming, it's funny. It can get dramatic because it does get into real issues. As again, Onizuka obviously no teacher training, but his unorthodox methods work for the kids, and there's a lot of character building, like exploring basically each of the students and their problems, and eventually growing their relationship with Onizuka and how he helps people in, again, his own way. It's a very charming story. You probably know, at least heard of it. It's another story that I would say is a classic and you should probably check out. That's my comedic pick, kinda. Now we're in the top half. So I'm not gonna lie, the bottom half we just went through, they're replaceable, and you can probably switch them around. I don't mind. Top half is a bit more solid. Like I probably wouldn't switch them, I think. But maybe. It's hard to remember. Number 5, we got the Ghost in the Shell series. Kind of cheating since I'm including like every single Ghost in the Shell adaptation, but you know. And you're like, Aiden, is... Well, I mean, you know what Ghost in the Shell is. Why do I even need to explain? There's literally a poster there. I feel like if I had to single it, I mean, I think Standalone Complex is definitely the best Ghost in the Shell for me. A lot of people, and I've talked to a few, or I know a few, have like watched the movies and they're like, man, it looked really cool, but I didn't really get the story. And I think that's totally reasonable because it's a movie based like just from a random art. I still think it is a good standalone series. Not to or standalone movie. Not to make a pun off Standalone Complex, but I still think it works, but I don't even think it's the best starting point either. I think Standalone Complex, which is one of the TV series, is just so good. And you probably should watch it. First, it has Makoto, probably like one of the best female leads, I think. I mean, better than RL from Ergo Proxy. That RL is my own preference, but Makoto is like probably widely considered one of the best female leads, if not the best. I wouldn't put her at the best, and you'll learn later why. But I love Makoto. This is also kind of my detective pick, because while it's sci-fi, it's also a detective story, kind of. Detective crime story. It's not really like I mean, they are solving mysteries, but it's also like action, like cop show sort of thing, which I like. It's not exactly post-apocalyptic like Ergo Proxy, but it's that is probably dystopian. I don't know. It's fun. So you're like you look up Ghost in the Shell and there's like literally 10 adaptions. Again, I would start with Standalone Complex. But Standalone Complex is basically, it's an anime series composed of like a main story. It's called Standalone Complex because there's standalone episodes, which are just single stories that don't really tie in. And then you have complex episodes, which is like the main story of the season. There's 2 seasons and a couple movies, I think. They're both really good. Both standalone episodes and the complex episodes. I'm not gonna lie, I don't fully remember season 2 as much as I do of season 1. But I do think season 2 is really good, especially the climactic episodes and actually getting backstory on Makoto is really cool. So yeah, I mean, it's a classic. You've definitely heard of Ghost in the Shell. I've watched everything besides the live action remake, the American one, and the new one coming to Netflix. I don't know if it came to Netflix. I'll probably watch both of them eventually. But no, it's a great series. I like it. I respect it. I hope you check it out, and I hope you check out the TV series, even if you weren't the biggest fan of the movie series. I think it does a lot more to develop the world. But yeah, continuing on. Dude, number 4. I wasn't expecting this list to be so sci-fi dominant starting this, but here we are. Number 4, Star Blazer Space Battleship Yamamoto 2199. Is that how you say it? Yes, another sci-fi. And this one isn't even the genre I said I like. This is like more akin to Star Wars and Star Trek. You've probably heard of this. This is an all-time classic too. But I am not talking about the classic version. Don't shoot me. I swear it's good. I'm talking about the OVA that came out in like 2012, 2013. It's a long OVA series. It's like what, 20? Let me Google this for you. Yeah. Oh, shit, I forgot. It's a lot of episodes. Yeah, 26 episodes. So it's a long standing OVA. And I think it's not a hot take. Just luckily, I feel like I've heard a lot of people who are fans of the original say that the remake's actually a good place to start for new viewers. I don't know how accurate it is to the original, but it is such a good story, man. You're like, what is this about? Um, this is basically it's a remake of a very old classic series. It's basically about the Earth in the future. The surface is destroyed because alien race has been yeeting meteorites into it, destroying the atmosphere, and the Earth's about to like explode. But then they get a message from another alien race saying, "Hey, I can save your planet." Then they're like, "Okay, let's go save the planet." So they were hiding one last ship, and they bring basically humanity's last hope onto the ship to which is the battleship Yamamoto, to do like a stealth mission to save the planet. It's really good, a really fun cast of characters. Romance is extremely spicy. I remember pulling my hair out at some of the pairings. And surprisingly, it's a very intense story, but like through a large chunk of the middle, it's kind of slice of lifey. It's, I guess, more akin to Star Trek, where it's like random missions. You know, it's the first time a lot of these people went like deep space, so they're investigating different planets and different space anomalies, stuff like that. It's really fun. I love the villain. I love the Emperor, the Chad Emperor, doing this all for a girl. It's hilarious. And he has a cool design. I really love villains who are extremely cocky, but then can back it up. Like that, I don't mind cocky villains or whatever, but like when they can back it up, it's like, oh shit, now you know why he's cocky, dude. But this story is really good. It's the one exception, like the one exception where again what are they called? Like space operas? Like Star Wars is a space opera. I guess Star Trek isn't. I don't know. Space shows like that aren't like that are more focused, I guess, traveling through space is a better way of putting it, maybe. But I love it, man. It's really good. It has a season 2. I watched it more recently, I guess. This was during the hiatus. Just because it's so good, I even broke my anime hiatus to watch it. What was it called? War of Love? I don't remember enjoying it as much, but that was generally a period of my life where I was avoiding anime or just didn't have desire to watch it, so maybe I was just less hyped in general. Also, it's a monthly series since it was an OVA, so one episode every month, so long wait. But there's some good stuff in season 2. They brought back the spoiler, Chad Emperor's in it again, and he actually gets character development, which makes him a way more likable character for like normal audiences, so that was cool. Like I think most people would not like him, but now after season 2 you gotta like him. Like him, light or light, I don't know, I'm not spoiling. But no, I mean, yeah, it's a big space adventure story, lots of actions, no mechs, but a lot of good spaceship fights. A little larger in scale. And it's definitely a big underdog story because it's one ship facing a entire empire. So, and a very fun cast of characters and romance stuff. So it has it all, dude. It has it all. I'm just going faster because, you know, don't want to spend too much time. But yeah, take my word for it. Would recommend. I don't know. I don't think it's low key. Maybe the OVA is low key, but check out the OVA version. I mean, the original version's probably good too, but I think the OVA, being so modern and stuff and being a good adaptation, is definitely worth checking out too. Next, we're on the top 3. In number 3, we have, drum roll in your head, because I'm not doing it. We got Fate Zero. Oh, I mean, okay. I would say Fate Zero probably was my favorite, as like in my high school years, for a large part of it anyways. I used to love the Fate series. I still do. I still do love the Fate series. Though if you're here in the channel, you know I shit talk the visual novel a lot for Fate. Just because I have come to the realization that the Fate visual novel is actually like kind of bad, at least for rereading. Maybe it's better the first time, but it is like it's such a slow messy novel with some great moments, but like just the just the wave of badness you get. Okay, I'm shit talking it too much, but basically I'm not exactly the biggest fan of the source material. But the animated series though, dude, when I first saw Fate Zero, I was literally blown away. Obviously that it's known for its animation. It was beautiful. Um, I think I saw it like fresh off the Studio Dean run. Hey, Studio Dean, UBW, honoring it there, which was actually just garbage. So like, just the shock after seeing such a good adaptation, and I was totally new to the Zero story, so I was like, what's gonna happen? I mean, you know, a couple things, I guess, but it's really good, man. It's beautiful. The action scenes are great. The characters are great. The one thing, like, while the source material for Fate isn't my favorite, I love the core idea of bringing back legends or famous people into like, and not just bringing them back and using their same story, kind of adapting it to your own style sort of thing. I think is like awesome. And the fact that again you're using already curated characters makes it like easy to pump out good characters. I don't know if that was a strategic play by Nasu, but it works, man. It's such a cool concept, and I think Fate Zero, after reading the source material and really knowing about those 8 servants, I guess technically, when you get the new ones, I was just losing my mind because I didn't experience any other Fate stuff where obviously like nowadays there's like actually probably like over, maybe not over 100, but there are so many servants. But when Fate Zero hit, you're like, oh shit, actual. And like the first new batch of servants was great. Sorry, I'm blanking because I kind of missed some stuff in the other stuff. But anyways, it doesn't really matter. Maybe a negative. I like to throw a negative in each story, kind of, even though I didn't for some. It might be hard to understand for people not familiar with the Fate series, and I think Fate's like in this weird space, at least in the adaptation. So like basically Fate Zero is made in mind that you've read the visual novel, and then Unlimited Blade Works also made in mind that you've watched Fate Zero and read the visual novel. And then people like had this conversation where it's like, oh, you should definitely watch Unlimited Blade Works before Zero. But like, really, you shouldn't, because Unlimited Blade Works has so many more ties to Zero than the source material did. It was definitely like not made just as not made as like as a entity. I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, if you're starting this Fate series, start with Zero and then just go from there. Unless you want to read the visual novel, then you read Unlimited Blade Works. I feel like watching Unlimited Blade Works then Zero is probably not a good idea. It doesn't work as well as it should. But back to Zero. Great fights, beautiful animation, love the characters, Ryder, Gilgamesh. I love Gilgamesh. I am a Gilgamesh fan. I mean, you probably could have guessed after we talked for Battleship Yamamoto. I love cocky characters that can back it up, and Gilgamesh might be the literal incarnation of that idea. Yeah. I mean, Gilgamesh is my second favorite character in all of Fate. I would say Sakura is probably my favorite. Honestly, like the best part of Stay Night. I mean, Heaven's Feel is the best part of the source material, but obviously Sakura is not really in Zero, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, great series, great fights. Love like all the servants, maybe except for Lancer. I didn't really care about Lancer, but yeah, good. Eternal, yeah, it'll always be like really up there for me. It was my favorite for so long, and even though in general Fate has kind of went down on my radar, Zero will always be probably the top, unless they made something better. Though, actually, no, I won't say it. I won't say it. Yeah, what I forgot to do was like, even though I did it for some favorite characters and moments for each series, we did it up to Ergo, right? Daimanoi's favorite character, Sawamura. Um, yeah, we said Inashirode, favorite character from GTO. Onizuta, Ghost in the Shell, Makoto, Star Blazers. That one's harder. That one is harder. I think I think it's probably Kodai, the main character. But I forgot her name. How do you forget your fourth favorite anime character series character's name? My bad. Actually, fourth will be the Chad Emperor. Albert, yeah, Dessler. There you go. Chad Emperor is my other favorite character. Um, oh, sorry, the music stopped. But yeah, let's continue. I just forgot to do that. Oh yeah, Fate Zero, Gilgamesh favorite character. Honestly, like Kuritsuga was good, Saber's good. Like there's Berserker's good, Rider's good. They're all good. They're all good. It's just a great series. That's why it's number 3 on my list. Okay, number 2. Oh man, 40 minutes. Trying to keep it short. Can't help it. But anyways, number 2 we got Barakamon. Oh, I didn't see that coming. What's Barakamon? Barakamon is a slice of life series. Basic summary. Honda, is a professional calligrapher, and while talented and on the rise, he punches a critic in the face after getting frustrated from his comments, and then his dad sends him to a rural town to reflect on his actions and stuff. And yeah, that's basically the story. It's a simple but extremely well done slice of life anime. Basically following Honda, probably like one of the best character growths in a series I've seen. Meeting the rural characters. You have Naru, best child character like ever. She is adorable. She's like one of the characters that doesn't develop much, surprisingly, like in this story. There's a lot of development with the side characters in this, but she doesn't even freaking need it, dude, because she was an awesome character from episode 1. So it's chill. But yeah, it's basically this famous guy set in this rural town, and he has to adapt and get used to it. And despite hating it, he slowly changes because of the villagers and stuff. It is an extremely cozy story. It is hilarious. Love the anime adaptation. Usually when a story has a manga, I like 90% of the time I prefer the manga to the anime. This is one of the few times where I think they adapted the story perfectly from the manga, and they added to it with the voice acting and the music. Its opening is dope. I didn't talk about openings in the oh no, dude, I'm missing so many details. We'll speedrun opening talk after we finish the list. I love like all the characters, and I don't actually remember all their names. I'm sorry. Again, it's just my, I haven't watched this in literal years. But obviously I love Handa. I love Naru. I think my next favorite character is actually Kido, the chef guy. His development was awesome, man. Though I guess you don't get into it too much in the anime, so I should probably not talk about that too much. But I know I said GTO is the comedy pit, but this is extremely funny. This is extremely cozy. It lacks a bit of romance. It does get into romance a bit in the manga, but it never really develops too much. hey, if they ever want to make this season 2, the manga's done. They can do it. I would be all for it. It's very interesting also with the calligraphy aspect. I do love learning new stuff in stories, and I didn't really know much about, I guess, professional calligraphy. So that was fun to learn about. It's hard to put into words because at least to me, I'm making it sound kind of average, but it just hits right, man. It's my quintessential slice of life that I would recommend to everyone. Probably won't regret it. There's also a prequel called Honda Twin, which is more of a comedy thing. It's not as good in my opinion, but it is still I think it's still pretty good. But yeah, that's my fourth. Or that's my second. So it's 1:30 in the morning. That's my second favorite. Okay, going back up the list. Opening speedruns. Princess Tutu, don't remember. Ippo, favorite opening. Probably the fourth one. The Hawk season. Surprisingly. Though the fifth one's good. Honestly, all of them are pretty good. Ergo Proxy only has one. It's also in English, so it's kind of dope. Diamond No Ace. Actually very hard to choose because all of them are really good. I think Perfect Hero, aka the second opening, is my favorite. Though I do like the fourth opening too. I don't know. It's a hard one. Banger openings. GTO, second one is my favorite. Standalone Complex, not gonna lie, I don't actually like the openings too much. They're too abstract and they might actually fit the anime more, but like I can't bop to them. Battleship Yamamoto. Alright, short story. I'm pretty sure I started watching this just because I heard the Overworld opening. So I was super excited to experience that in it. And then I learned later that at least in the English release, well, I watched in subbed, but you know, the Funimation release or whatever company released this, they cut the Overworld opening and just had one opening throughout the whole series because fans did not like the Overworld opening because it didn't go with the series. And I was actually kind of pissed. I love Overworld, one of my favorite J-rock bands ever. The song was a banger. Okay, maybe it didn't go well with the series, but I enjoyed the Overworld opening more than the Russian sounding national anthem, which again probably goes well with the story, but like, I don't know, I was fuming, dude. Well, I'm not fuming, but I was like, where's my Overworld? You don't cut Overworld, man. Anyways, Fate Zero, both openings are good. I like the Calafina one better, so the second opening. Barakamon only has one opening, but it is a banger. Yeah, there we go. Speedrun. Honorable mentions. I didn't make it to the list before we hit our number one. Nana, great adaptation. The manga's in purgatory, but it's good. Very fun drama. By fun, I mean frustrating. And character development stuff. It's a rock show. It's good. Blood Plus, kind of a shonen vampire, weird vampire story. That's probably my shonen pick. That or Hunter x Hunter is like, can probably replace Princess Tutu, but I just put Princess Tutu there just in case. Just to honor my past self. Watashi ga monotai no wa do ken De Temo Omari ga Warui. Is that how you say it? That's no matter how I look at it, it's your fault I'm not popular. Another great slice of life comedy adaptation. Along with Barakamon, probably better than its manga. I just wish there was more of it because the manga that's extremely good with character development, and this only touches on like very few of that. So if there's probably another season, which make for me please, then it probably would actually breach the top 10. But for now, it's an honorable mention. I have Tetsuolonize, kind of fits the same spot as Ergo Proxy, but I like Ergo Proxy better. I got Slam Dunk for sports anime, team sports anime. Didn't put it in because the ending was stuffed because they had to cancel it. I have Go on the list. I was gonna put it at 10, but I refrain, though I do love Go. And then I have Bakano, which is good. Sorry, we're speedrunning. Bakano is good. It's like if you've watched Durarara. Is that what it's called? Durarara? You've probably heard of it at least. It's like the predecessor to Durarara, and I like it better. So check that out if you like Durarara. Number 1, the moment you've all been waiting for. What is my favorite anime series of all time? Then we get the music, dude. The Demon Army music. It is Kara no Kaioke. So this is a movie series of 8 movies, and I love it. I loved it. It's what kind of like when Fate Zero is my favorite. When I watched Kara no Kaioke, I was like, move over Fate Zero. This is so good. It's part of the Fate universe or the Nasuverse. It's for me, it's peak Nasu. It's so good, and it's kind of funny because it's the prototype to the Fate and Tsukihime stories. Tsukihime, is that what it's called? I forgot. So if you're a fan of Fate, you'll notice like a lot of characters are like prototypes of Fate characters. Like Twisty Girl is Sakura, but less good. The priest is Kotamine and Kiritsuga. Like there's a lot of interesting stuff like that if you're a Fate fan that you can like get from it. But I love this series. It has my favorite female character, anime character ever, Shiki Ryogi. Awesome. She also has the same birthday as me, so technically this is Shiki's birthday too, so there you go. But I love Shiki. I love her design, the red leather jacket with a kimono underneath. Knife character, her powers are great, the Eyes of Death. Gotta give it to Nasu. Whatever you think of his writing, he does really cool power stuff. Animation's beautiful, and then it's ufotable, so that's normal. Movies definitely differ in quality, but I come to the opinion that all of them are good. Oh, my ears. Every time the song comes on, dude. I'm like, oh, maybe I should just remove it, but then I never do. It just kills my ears. Okay. Yeah, movies obviously different quality because they're different directors, but I think they're all generally good. 4 is my least favorite. Surprisingly, I know a lot of people would probably say 6 or 8 is their least favorite. But for me, 4 has the least rewatchability because it's mainly just explaining the powers and stuff with Shiki. Once you know it, you don't really need it again. At least 6 is like kind of funny, and 8, I actually think 8 is good. So I don't know what people are talking about there, but but you might have heard of 5, the Paradox movie. That one's actually goated as one of the best anime movies. I remember in university, they literally watched it like as a standalone movie. Which I don't think you should, by the way. I think you probably need the other 4 movies for like the setup, but it's an awesome movie. I think 7 is very close in quality towards it too. 3 is my low key, or I guess 8's my low key because people don't really like 8. But you're like, what is Kara no Kaioke? And it's kind of weird. It's basically like a detective story about a character named Shiki and Koto, and they basically work for a paranormal detective agency where they take care of paranormal, maybe not paranormal, like magical cases. Because again, this is in the Fate world, so there are magicians, there are weird magic stuff like that. Koto's just a guy, and also the love interest for Shiki, which is one of the best anime couples ever, in my opinion. And Shiki has this really cool eye powers called the Eyes of Death, where she can basically see lines on anything in existence. Basically, when she uses it, and if she traces the line with something, that thing dies. So if she like traces a line on a person, they die. If she traces a line on, I don't know, a tree, it dies. Like it's a really cool and overpowered power. And she's just a really dope character. She's like She's like, she's just cool. Like when I think of cool, I think of Shiki. um, but yeah, extremely fun cast of characters. Music is great, probably the best soundtrack. No opening music, but the actual soundtrack, the fight scene for Shiki, oh man, I forgot what it's called because they remixed it like a billion times. But you need to look it up. It is so good. The action is good too. It's not a series too focused on action, but when it does happen, and it usually does for each movie, there's usually like a very short fight with the quote unquote villain. Um, it's usually pretty beautiful. um, all the characters are good. Obviously, you have the main two. You have I can't remember names. The leader of the organization, the redhead. Um, she was also really badass. You have the Rin Ilya combination prototype character, which was Koto's little sister. Villains, you have I call her Twisty Girl. Just as she says twist when she uses her power, the power to twist anything in existence. And then prototype Sakura, but then yeah, Sakura like best character from Fate, so can't really top that. One of the few characters in Tier no character that I think doesn't top their predecessor. There's also beta a beta type Shiro, which is not as good as normal Shiro, but it's still in Paradox. But yeah, I mean, the thing is with Tier no character, I can literally go on for like hours talking about it since I love it so much, but I won't because I need to go to sleep. But okay, favorite movie. Wait, did I already go through it? Yeah, I did. Never mind. We don't need to do that again. But I'm still putting this as my favorite, so I would wholeheartedly recommend this. There's action. It's not really slice of life. It's action, detective stuff, magic stuff. There is romance though. And then the Koto Shiki romance is really freaking good. Like, if you're a romance fan, you would like it. Each movie and then different quality, different feel, kind of like number one's really horror. Strangely enough, while none of the other ones are horror, so don't get put off by that if you're not a horror fan. I am, so I loved it. Favorite villain? I love Leo from 7. Leo is so cool to me. Obviously Priestman is probably the popular choice. Most villains are good except for 4, the zombie guy. The zombie guy was whatever. I liked Bomberman from 8. And animation's beautiful. I think the animation's better than Fate Zero. For some reason, people say that 8 looks worse compared to all of them. I don't know why. 8 looks beautiful. Maybe it's because the CG is a bit more noticeable, but like, come on. No, stop. Also, Ufotable, I know you're adapting a billion Fate stuff, but there's still one book you didn't adapt, the side story, the Labyrinth side story, so please do that. I'm hoping that once they finish all the Fate stuff, which will probably be in like 10 years, because there's so much Fate stuff, they can finally do the last Kano Kaioke story. Yeah. Negatives to Tear no Kaioke, I don't know, man. Like, it's a little confusing. Like, the epilogue where it was like a 30-minute special where they talked on a bridge was like, I don't know, kind of weird. But honestly, it's just so good on all fronts. It covers like almost all genres. The character development for Shiki and Koto is just, as the kids say these days, it is Kino. Even though I hate using that word, I'll use it for Tear no Kaioke just because I love it that much. But yeah. Would say best anime probably will be my favorite anime forever, unless something really good comes out. But I think it's almost at the point, like kind of how Fate Zero's will always be like top 5, was just like solidified there. Like, it's gonna be really hard to break that, I think. But yeah, there's my top 10 anime list. Sorry it took an hour, even though I was speeding through it. It's just, yeah, I feel like we could literally talk about it way more, but yeah. But that's what the comments are for. So if you, if you, again, if you want me to talk about it more, if you've watched any of them and you have a take, if you want to give me your own favorite animes, who knows? Maybe I've watched them before. Maybe I will want to watch them after you say them. Feel free to comment. It's always fun to look and respond at comments. Don't feel the need to ever delete. Delete. Hey, I tracked my own voice. Apparently, saying delete tracked my voice. Yeah, I see some cool comments and I'm like, oh shit, that's the preview. Let's sit, and then I click it. Then it's like deleted, even though it was a nice comment. And I'm like, So yeah, don't worry about it. Don't get embarrassed. Whatever. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Again, personal opinion. If your favorite anime is not on there, I either haven't seen it or I don't think it's as good as these, maybe. Um, yeah, that's all. Or maybe I just forgot about it because it's been like a billion years since I saw it. But that's all for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Yay, happy birthday to me and Shiki, I guess. And yeah, fun to make. I like lists like this. Maybe one day we'll do manga. And you're like, how different would manga be? It would be extremely different. Haven't seen Tutu. Ippo might be there. Ergo Proxy does not have a manga. Haven't seen GTO. Haven't read Ghost in the Shell. Haven't read this. Haven't read this. And Karen Clarity doesn't have a manga, I think. Or maybe it does, but I haven't read it. So it would be extremely different. And I kind of like manga more than anime in general. So yeah, that's an idea. Also, I just realized I said haven't read this and highlighted stuff on my notepad when you can't see it, so never mind. Basically, I haven't. Most of them I haven't. Most of them I haven't seen. But yeah. Enough stalling. It was a fun video. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. And again, if you're new here and you enjoyed it, consider giving a like or even subbing for more anime content. We do reactions. Uh, we do quizzes. We do lots of dope stuff. But yeah, thanks for checking out this video. If you made it this long, I salute you. And hopefully I'll see you again in the future. And we're ending off in the Bastu Minako song. Dude, the natural timing of shuffling my playlist is amazing. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hopefully I'll see you again next time. Peace.